What is going on, guys? It's your boy Wild Ace back here. Today what we're going to be doing is checking out a streamer who is posting some micro stakes, explain and play. Or play and explain is probably a better way of saying that. If you guys are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. The channel is doing very, very well right now. So if you're new, make sure you hop on the train, join, subscribe, turn on your notifications, drop a like if you guys enjoy this type of content. A lot of poker content for the smaller stakes, and then once we make some money, then we'll just be a bigger stakes poker player as we progress. But without wasting any more of your guys' time, let's go ahead and jump into it.
I'm probably going to end up telling you
he folds.
So
he folds the other one too,
based on my HUD anyway. So I figure
what
I might as well show
king five suited, playable hand as well. He'll probably fold that if he folds. Let's suit it.
So I'm going to open the king 5.
Okay, so he bets, which I don't know if I would do. 6 king. If we know that he plays 5 suited, 6 suited is obviously a play as well. I think that the smarter decision, and I hate that he plays big blinds rather than money, but we'll just consider it 97 and 100. But the VP is, I think, the percentage of hands that you play. So everybody here is pretty healthy there. VP IP 20% of hands, 13% of hands, 15% of hands, 17% of hands, 22%.
We have our RNG here for when we need it.
Okay, Jack, Ace, 4 with the King 5. We just hit 2 spades. We have 4 spades. We can definitely raise this up a little bit
so
here.
We flop the nut flush draw on a board that the big blind's going to be struggling quite often on. So we'll start with the small bet.
So he bets 1.6, gets a call immediately.
Not flush draw, but
7, probably check.
A very strong flush draw.
75% of the pot. He is using a lot of the smaller numbers. Maybe we should do that too.
We'll obviously bet the turn as well, which we're going to do with obviously like our ace X and very strong.
Watch hands. The flop on the other side. He gets the 2, doesn't. So he gets the flush there.
On this card,
7,
after our opponent calls twice and he's green, I like to overbet. Just
120% of the hand.
Because we unblock like his 2-pair call downs, like ace 4 offsuit and all that.
I would say, so he bet too big. I would go like a 75, maybe somewhere like 80, 90% of the pot, maybe even a pot size bet. I think that's a little too big though.
Quite sticky. So we're just gonna overbet in this spot.
Fold, yeah, a little too much.
Could consider going smaller, but I would certainly
3 ace suited should be playable
against a different opponent type. I'm not gonna 3-bet here against a short stacker. It just doesn't play anywhere near as well.
Okay. 10-7 suited.
Excuse me while I'll drink water at some points as well because.
Yeah, me too, brother. We're on the same page, bro. We're on the same page. On the same page.
The ace 4 offsuit on the button, we're actually going to mix, and this time we'll fold.
Wait, what is he doing? Oh, so if it's less than 50, he won't play it. If it's more than 50, he plays it. That's interesting.
This is the cutoff in the big blind with 10-7
fold.
Suit. We're just going to call.
Or 5-6, can you play that? I would say no.
And we'll have to check fold this board. We'll also call all the time with this 5-6.
Interesting.
And we'll have to fold all the time there as well. We'll have to obviously check and fold this turn, and this card he's going to check back a lot of ace high, so we'll have to fold. I do have some stats. Sorry, I do have some stats from the warm-up that I had.
He is pretty fast,
dude. Wasn't very many.
Right side screen, nothing's going on there, so that'll be a fold on
the brain flowing
there. All right.
On this turn, we're going to overbet. We have obviously still the double gut shot.
Overbetting here with the double gut shot.
We have an overcard. Our opponent's going to
so we're looking for a 7,
9-7,
a jack,
7 that can't really withstand this kind of bet size. We can also hit this with our straights.
Fold, and he wins. 8. 10-2 fold.
With this action, we're definitely not going to 3-bet, but I certainly don't want.
So he raises to 30 cents just to call. That's what I would do
against this opponent here, which makes it even more.
Okay, so this is interesting. How would I play this trip 8 out? What I do in this situation is, well, you definitely can actually bet here because this board looks super dry. So I would say 2 big blinds, so 20 cents, 30 cents, something like that, maybe even 40 cents. But even 40 cents is probably a little high here, so 4 big blinds. Anyway,
but we could consider
we'll see what happens. Queen 7 should be a fold.
With the 8 of clubs here, we're definitely not going to do any raising. Our opponent is going to have obviously some overpairs, but
so 7 is kind of big, but it's pretty big. So what does he play?
That's actually quite
24%.
interesting. Hopefully this opponent stays in. This opponent staying in would have been obviously best because he's going to be overcalling a lot. But with this texture and obviously us locking up the board, overpairs are still going to be very happy on most turns, and we have an 8 of clubs as well, which is blocking some draws. It's a very good turn card because he's now going to continue obviously with all of those and some extra draws too.
So we know he's gonna big bet here, which is an easy call. So how much do I think that he'd bet? He's probably gonna try and bluff with an overpair of something like. So what he just bet. So in a board of 23 big blinds, I bet it's a pot size bet around 23 big blinds or
all
so.
of those overpairs and some extra draws too. So we're obviously thinking about getting the rest of the money in. Now we are very deep, so we may need to place a raise.
I'm just worried about the left side screen.
We are going to have some bluffs.
So 23.4. So that's exactly. So he bet the pot. Now in this spot, what do? I think you need to go all in. You need to probably go all in because you don't need something on the turn to come out. So he's probably not going to fold all in either. So I wonder if you call, because if you go all in, he's going to snap call you because he's going to have you beat, or he's going to beat you down. We got a full house here. There's not much that's going to happen. So in a situation like this, he goes all in. The other guy probably snap calls, or you can just call for the last card. But whatever this last card is on the river is not going to help you out whatsoever. Yeah, it's just not going to help you out unless it's an 8.
Against pot though, I think we're just going to go ahead and call. If we raise this pot bet, I think we look very, very, very strong. Obviously, we're not folding on any river anyway. If he has like queens plus, then a lot of rivers are going to be quite safe for us. He's going to fold a lot of bluffs here as well if we raise. So I think we're just going to start with a call. And he could obviously have something like ace king of clubs, ace queen of clubs, lots of club draws here because remember we didn't 3-bet, so he's got all of those strong club draws. His overpairs are going to have a hard time to fold on this river if he does check, and I obviously will decide to bet.
He probably goes all in. What does he do in this situation when you get called with a pot size bet? You probably go all in, right? Or you bet big,
too,
you bet huge, or you check
pot on the river.
Okay, so he bets half pot here.
So, sorry, he did bet pot on the turn. So I should be folding on a paired board quite a lot of my flush draws. So he may feel quite comfortable here to bet with overpairs as well. And obviously we have a very easy jam. And if we're going to get called, it's going to be by, pocket aces. And his best call down is going to be overpairs with the club. So we'll go all in, obviously.
He's got a call.
On this turn,
at this point, he's so deep, he's got a call. I'm just watching this. I know the other side's good, but this was like a real technical.
We could consider checking because the king obviously is going to be much better for him than me, but we can also bet here with like 7-8 and stuff. Our opponent's run out of time here. I think he may have been able to call with more time. I think we played our hand as well as we could have done.
Perfect. Wow. 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 That was literally perfect. All right, let's watch a little bit more.
Not been a good card.
Ace 8 playable.
I do think he'll expect me to fold the turn, like I said, a lot with 2 clubs when he pots into a paired board.
That was interesting on the river on the turn. He only called that big bet versus going all in. I probably
folded an overpair that didn't have a.
Okay, ace 8. So ace 8. So the 2 pair he checks there. So he only checks along. We're hoping that this guy bets.
Never club in it, but he may have called with a bit more time.
With a small bet of 6.2. So really,
this guy's asking me if I'm a streamer. I'm not actually going to reply at this point, just because I'm making a video. And I have to.
So what did he do? I think he checked along, right? Let me go back here. Let's watch this.
I'm not actually going to reply at this point.
So he checks. 4 comes out of clubs. We're good. We're hoping for a diamond. A diamond here is super strong. We don't want a club. We could use a heart, I suppose, as well.
Just because I'm making a video.
So ace. Now we'll see how strong this is. So he bets small here.
I have a feeling some of my hotkeys will kick off if I start typing. So we'll definitely bet this turn after he checks behind.
Yep, and then he calls this for sure.
He's question marking me, but I'm sorry, I'm not going to respond to this one, unfortunately. I'm very concerned about lots of different screen things popping off. Hopefully he doesn't time back the whole way down to get an answer from me.
On the right, can he play that?
Sorry, man, I would love to. I always reply to people usually. If I see him again, I'll in like tonight or something, I'll say something.
That was
Like I
awesome.
said, we're going to be going for about half an hour. Definitely
Ace
fold
king,
king 8.
fold.
Queen 6 is going to be
trash. Fold that. Fold the ace queen. I mean 6 queen. This should be a fold.
We'll open the jack 10.
Yep. Opens with a bet. I think that a call in this situation could be better, but what do I know? Not that much, dude. That's nice.
And top
Okay,
pair.
so with the jack here, pair of jacks, top pair, 10 high, rainbow. This board is pretty safe here. A check, a small bet here,
always
a
gonna treat
re-raise.
one big blind as a check. So if I would have bet, so if I would have bet, then I'll raise, and if I would have just checked, I would just call. Unless I really have a very, very, very bad hand, then I will just go ahead and fold. But with any
9-4
obviously
fold,
decent
jack
equity,
7
just check
offsuit,
and call,
fold.
obviously.
Fold. Try and call it out. Queen 6. I might play that sometimes. It's probably a fold. It's playing super tight. You should fold that. 2 king fold.
So guys, if you do enjoy the video and you find it helpful, please consider subscribing. There is going to be a lot more
Drop
videos
a
in the
like.
future.
All right, let's
Drop
see
a
what
like
we
as
got
well
here.
if you do
So fold,
like
fold.
the video. It does help me out quite a lot, I think.
I might play
I don't
that
really
hand
understand it
sometimes
just
too.
yet,
It's
but
probably
I know
a
that it
fold
helps.
if you're
So we
playing
defended
tight.
the Queen 6, which is standard, and this guy seems on the nittier side. I don't expect him to bet this flop without some good reason, and obviously we don't really have any reason to continue.
I really got to figure out a HUD and
So
learn
we'll just
what
go
the
ahead
HUD
and fold.
does.
Seems very reasonable.
Jack 10,
from
9 queen. This is a call. This is a
Cut
call in
off,
my
but Queen
opinion.
9 off is just about not in, and we'll definitely fold Jack 10 to
I guess you got to be looking at table position. On the button, fold.
Sorry, you can hear my voice
2
feeling slightly hoarse. I do a lot of streaming at the moment. It's definitely taking its toll. Fold the 6-3 and the 6-2.
All right, so he's definitely playing a little tighter. We just got to wait till he gets a hand. Ace 8. I would probably play Ace 8. 4 jack is a fold. So you're going to play
Ace 8's no
this?
good.
No.
Jack 4 as well.
Okay, so maybe I got to be a little tighter. 6-7 suited, fold. 8-3 fold. Suited. Both of those doesn't matter.
Versus
Fold,
limp,
fold.
We'll make sure we
You
tag
guys
him,
can
we're
go
tagging
along
everyone.
with me too and see what you think.
Wherever we can. If we see someone with less than a full stack, they'll become green. If we see someone do something we don't agree with, then we'll make them yellow just to show them we've seen them do something questionable. And if we see someone do something very bad, we'll make them a pink. So against this, we have nothing to do but fold. And we'll definitely just, in this small of a pot, we don't want to be doing anything but just checking and trying to get showdown. Obviously, not trying to get to showdown. We don't really care if we get showdown or not, but you know what I mean.
Yep, fold off the bet.
We're never going to win that hand, basically.
4-5 fold. Ace queen,
5-4.
ace 6
No good
fold.
versus hijack open.
Queen jack play. I would just open with a call. I think that the call allows more people to play a little bit in. It makes people feel a little bit more comfortable. A 2.5
I mean, there are
call.
definitely going to be some ranges that include it.
What? Why are you not calling ace queen?
Mine got up to 6-5.
Okay, jack king.
So
you
you're
got
going to
to
open the king jack under the gun. It's not my favorite thing to open, but it is in there. And obviously, if this guy jams, we'll have to call. It's not really a jam though. It's not even enough for a 3-bet. So 10-5 against a min raise will defend.
10-5. Okay.
Suited, we would definitely fold to a larger side.
Okay. Pair of tens. What do I do here? I check. Check or
Make
call
sure
a
we
small
tag
bet.
them as we go.
2.2. That's definitely a playable hand.
Against this sizing,
Call.
I think we're not really going to do any improving. I would rather just fold. It's not the kind of board I was looking for when I called with getting the good price. And we'll also call here with the Queen 6 versus min raise. And another very easy fold. We could consider betting. We'll wait to hear the truth one more time from our opponent. If he does check again, we'll take a stab. Because we're not going to win a showdown. But if he was caught
Why is he showing down here with queen?
here, obviously then we'll be done with the hand. But I do think a lot of
I don't know why he
retags are
played
gonna
that.
be
Like,
also
I don't get
double
why
checking
some of
there,
the stuff
and
he
they're never
plays.
really gonna
7
be doing a lot of calling when they do.
fold. So I don't know. He's kind of
They
like
do
really
play
different.
fairly straightforward in those spots, from my experience.
9 queen.
6-7 from the button, offsuit is not going to make it. We are mixing 9-8 offsuit, pure folding 8-7 offsuit. Pocket fives will certainly be opening from here.
Yep. So 3 just
Versus
a call.
hijack open, we're actually just going to pure fold here.
So he really cares about the position on the table.
And it's very
So
tempting to
this
try
is
and
easy
offset,
call because he's on the small blind, so he's already.
We're definitely going to 3-bet and get it in against this guy. We don't want to go like super big, even though we're out of position, because he really can't do anything but.
Everybody else will fold back to him.
Like a larger sizing. He might be tempted to call for just 6 more, and obviously we have a pretty decent hand. So we open
6, 7.
up the jack 6 on the button, which we're going to be doing always, and
6, 7. Okay, here on the big blind, he calls this.
Our ace 10 offsuit, we're going to be mixing between call and raise, and this time we're going to be raising. We'll start with a call, our jack 6, but we're starting not to be very happy about it, certainly against the big blind range, and this is a turn that we're just definitely going to be giving up on.
I think he's just over betting there. I don't know. I think that maybe you just call
I don't think there's going
along.
to be many runouts that
Queen 4
we're going to win on.
So he pays attention to the board. Maybe we'll try that in a strategy and see how we do. Ace on the small blind.
My stats do look nitty, but I really haven't. It's a very small sample, obviously. They generally level out at like 23, 20, 10, somewhere around that region, give or take 1, 2. But I think when the ball is a lot pinker and
okay, so he raises
to. I generally have nittier stats because I'm generally not going to be opening as wide, and it does seem to be quite.
So this guy with the 35 should be playing with like a decent hand, right?
We're obviously going to be
3-bets
these.
Jacks, yep, you open those too. We'll try and go very careful here because it's back to him on. All right, here's what I do: a bet of 11 big blinds, which is $1.10, something like that, $1.10, I believe. That is a huge raise on these tables. So in a position like this, I think you just can call.
Against the cutoff 3-bet with ace king off, we're actually going to mix. And with the jacks, we have actually an interesting spot as well.
Okay, so 3.4 to 3.4. We got to kind of watch.
We'll mix this ace king, and we're going to be.
So he's re-raising. So I guess he's literally just, randomizing whether it's 1 or 100. If it's above 50, he raises. If it's below, it's a call. That's interesting, just to switch up your play.
We'll certainly have to be going all in, especially against the green.
And so he re-raises to 25. This player should fold. He calls. Okay. 4, jack 3. He has a club. What do you do in a position like this? If I get into a position like this where I've re-raised, do I believe I still have the best hand here? Yes. I don't know whether I should be betting or checking. I think that I check here most of the time just because you have nothing, but I don't know. How much money are you willing to lose? You do beat him all in if you have to. I think you have to go with like a small, like half size pot bet here.
It's actually a tough spot.
All right, queen, jack. He's got a little bit to call. This should be an easy 3-bet.
We're mainly going to be just calling anyway against this guy, and I think that we're going to get like 2 callers, even if we make it quite a large sizing. So we're just going to set mine in this spot. I think it's close though.
Okay, so with the jack here, we can re-raise. I think he should have raised a little bit there because, you're in a good spot anyway. Here, I think you have to go 50%. So what did he bet? I think you have to bet there.
Even if we make it quite large sizing. So we're just...
Oh, whoops. Let's see.
Just going to set mine in this spot. I think it's close though.
So he goes 33. So kind of what I thought.
Start with 33% with the ace king.
He snap calls and the ace comes out. That is a good card to have.
And on the.
So what do I do here with the ace? We hit the ace. We don't have to worry about any straights. The flush we don't have to worry about so much yet. What do I believe he has? He probably has kings, king queen, king ace. Maybe he has sometimes. With his higher VPIP, he probably actually is going to have, I would say he doesn't have an ace, and I would say he probably doesn't have a king. I'm going to guess that with that smaller jack, he did hit a jack, and that's why he's playing it to be playable. So I'm going to say he's like jack 10, something like that. Maybe jack queen or jack king. maybe even Jack Ace, but I doubt Jack Ace. But I believe he probably has a Jack because he bet big. He's willing to call, and then once he hits the Jack, he slows down a little bit as well.
This turn.
So what do I bet here anyway? With the ace, I think I go about, it's 80 big blinds, about 80 cents in the pot. I don't know, about pot, maybe 75, something like that.
We can consider checking. We can get with the ace of spades especially, we can consider checking here.
Okay, so here he just checks because he's running out of time. A small bet would have probably been okay there.
To go
so he checks.
A little bit crazy would be the best thing to do.
Okay, so he checks to get the opponent to go crazy. So he's checking in a position where this opponent should raise all in, maybe,
as well,
or pretty much all in. If he goes all in, we believe he has Jack Ace. If he doesn't go all in and he goes with a decent bet, we know it's just a call. So the 7 on this side, we'll see what he does here.
And against that, we're definitely gonna go.
So big bet there.
We're gonna bet this turn with the jacks.
So he bets 7 into this pot, which is pretty reasonable. Again, at this point, I think you have the nuts here. You're just kind of playing out.
We checked the flop, obviously, to the razor. Pre-flop is super optional, but I think with people that's going to be like quite bad, they're just going to be doing lots of calling and putting us in tough spots unless we flop sets post-flop.
So he wins that.
No one got there.
So he goes all in there. I think
and
that's
we'll be
probably
all in with
okay.
our ace king.
Boom, baby. What did I say? I knew he had a jack. So a pair there seems wild that you go jack 5.
I think we're going to see a little bit. Hopefully we can hold here. And we do. And he cashed out, which is hilarious. But yeah, very profitable spot there. I don't think he would have called.
Queens playable. Open, just slow. Damn, I can't believe he had. I really didn't expect him to be that low. That's crazy. Okay, so we knew there.
A jam, although he may well have done. But I do like to do a lot of checking against opponents like that in that kind of spot.
So the higher VPIP, you probably call a little bit more and let them kind of run themselves dry. Both of these hands are playable. I don't think the open is too big of a concern. Call or raise. Queen ace on this board.
This guy, I'd rather check call than bet, because if we bet on this board, we're not going to do lots of betting anyway. If we do bet on this board, we're going to get raised like quite a lot against the limper.
So yeah, so here you pretty much, I don't know if he gets raised. Check here.
Construct his limping range, because we don't really know what's going to be like. But now I think we can bet here, get some folds from like pocket 4s, 5s. He's not going to fold 7s, but we do have some good equity against that hand.
So he calls 5, and so you have pot bets.
And versus the low jack,
more than likely should be a fold out of him.
We're going to be pure 3 betting with our ace 4.
So 2.5 re-raise and on the button again.
Nice.
So he's on the button for ace. He can play, I guess, slightly more hands.
So yeah, like I said, guys, going to be going for about 30 minutes here.
So pair
on this board, our opponent's not going to have like the most 7, 6x. Neither are we, but we have all the overpairs. And when he's going to have a lot of floats for small sizing, I think we should go
float, meaning that he's hoping that something else will come up. He calls.
The turn is actually quite interesting.
A queen in this spot where we only have 6s. I think you either small bet of, I don't think you can really small bet too much here, so you probably just got to get out of the way.
I think the queen's going to full bet some frequency. This card is going to be way better for us than him, especially when he floats. So we are going to barrel again here. We also block ace queen that floats as well.
He bets there. That's fucking wild. I don't understand that. I mean, he's talking through why he believes that's okay. This should be a fold. I mean, this should be a fold. 23. So this is like $2.30 on
the
a
card's definitely going to be better for us than
$3.10.
Very,
yeah,
very deep.
Okay, so
you'd be worried about some river barrels. And I think against call, we'll probably find to give up on this river. But I do think that stuff like 8 through jacks is going to be in a very difficult spot on that.
On the small blind, you should call that.
So we certainly want to be
small blind
aggressive on cards that are going to be quite good for us.
Both of these are playing.
It's important to understand which cards are going to be good for us and which aren't. We'll talk about that spot in just a second after I play this ace jack.
I don't know why
against the cutoff with ace jack on the small blind, we're going to be doing some mixing, and on this occasion we'll be 3-betting. Yeah, so the queen, if he's going to ever, and we'll just talk about this one first. We're gonna see bet.
Okay, so yeah, so here I think a small bet's probably acceptable. This will probably be the last hand because we're
Our whole
already
range
at
here, the
33
ball's gonna be
minutes.
quite good for us.
So
I think small
smaller
makes sense, but I just want to go slightly bigger.
I think that's okay.
And
So he calls, Snap calls that pretty quick. Now you have 2-pair ace high. I think with this on the button, he's not very
versus
deep
call,
stacked here.
we're not necessarily like.
I think what you do in this situation is you check and you allow him to bet. I don't know why he doesn't have a HUD.
Super unhappy. Our hand's going to be good quite often. If he had like tens or a jack himself, we could still be winning. The king is going to be more on our range than his, and we do block king jack suited, which is nice. We'll certainly have to call against that bet. This could be a jack trying to buy a cheap showdown. It could also be a king. We'll definitely be re-evaluating the river.
So he immediately calls with jack. What do I think that this player has? I'm gonna bet, based on my experience, that he bet big before. I'm gonna guess that he has a king in a spot like this,
And we'll be checking.
and then checks. This guy should raise 67, so probably around 30. He checks as well. He
Makes
has
a lot of
king
sense.
10.
But against the turn sizing, obviously the flop's
Yeah,
going to be really
that's
good
what
for
I
us, so we
figured.
should
I
be
figure
betting
you probably
everything.
fold that.
If we're going to check a hand, that one makes a lot of sense. But
At least check both sides.
I'd rather just bet.
All right, we're gonna watch the 7. I know I
Once
said
he
this
calls,
was the
it's
last
gonna
one. Then we'll be done there. So
tough
we'll
spot
see
for
how he
us.
plays with 7.
We do beat some stuff even when he bets the turn for that
So
sizing.
he re-raises
I think he should
there.
probably do some checking back, though. We decided to see bet this ball with the ace deuce, and then
2, yeah, I'm not really paying
without picking up
attention
any
to
further
that.
equity, I think we're just going to check fold.
Yeah, he's just
And
checking
we'll
long.
call pure here with the 7s in position.
Okay.
We'll fold the ace deuce.
So yeah, he's got to fold that to any bet. Here's the last hand that we're gonna kind of analyze. 10, 5, 10, 2 pair. I think he's got the best hand, so at least at this spot currently.
We'll be continuing against almost every sizing here.
He checks
And when he
there.
checks-
You got to bet.
He does seem to be on the nittier side. His c-bet is 14, so it doesn't mean that he's necessarily going to be having only overcards here when he checks, but it does mean he's going to be giving up a lot, I think. So we are going to bet to protect our hand. If he
So
has
he bets. This should be based on the 15.
the-
Should be on a
the
full.
want to call here, then he's going to have to pay to see this turn. And I think with this lower c-bet, we are going to expect to get check raised here some, but we'll just be folding against that. That's a very, very bad turn for us. Obviously, there's a lot of hands that he floated the flop with that now are going to be winning. I know my main line here is going to be trying to get to showdown if we do experience
So a small
some
bet
bets
check.
from our opponent. We're never going to be betting this turn. If we do experience some bets for our opponent, well, not with this hand, but we are.
2 bets shows that there's probably not a king
not
there.
this hand. Then we'll be.
We're just worried about this hand. We're not going to worry
There's a
about
very
the
low
king
chance that
nine.
we have the best hand at this point, basically.
Okay, so did he check along? Let me
Low
double
chance that
check
we have the
that.
best hand at this point. Then we'll be just folding. But there's a very low chance that we have the best hand at this
So
point.
yeah, he checks there. You have to check at this point. A big bet
Consider
or a
trading in some
small.
tens as a check back as well.
So what do I call here? I think on a board of 29, maybe anything under 6 big blinds you probably call. 7 big blinds you probably can call. Anything less than that you probably have to fold. 25 is an easy
That's
fold.
explained. So the king 9 suited.
All right, guys. Well, that is going to do it for this kind of episode. I think that we did learn a little bit here in some interesting spots, focusing a little bit more on positioning. But I hope that you guys did enjoy it, and I'll see you guys again very soon.